Football League is back and so too the Premier League, and it's a Super Sunday double-header tomorrow. Wigan take on the European champions Chelsea from Sky Sports 1 HD and Sky 3D. And then it's the reigning Premier League champions who begin their defence against promoted Southampton. Manchester City against Southampton from 3:30, 1 HD again and Sky 3D. And it's the return of the Monday night football. Everton against Manchester United. All eyes on Robin van Persie. That's from 7, 1 HD, Sky 3D again. And by the way, all these games are available to Sky HD customers with a 3D TV as part of the Sky 3D free week. Well, here at Ellen Road this Saturday lunchtime, it's Leeds who lead.
Switched off there. Vecchio! Rolls didn't read the danger. Leeds capitalised. And Luciano Vecchio has the Yorkshireman up and running.
Home form was disappointing for Leeds last season, but it's been an ideal start so far against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Your commentators once again for this second half, Andy Hinchcliffe and Bill Leslie.
And we have a change to tell you about. Wolverhampton Wanderers have made a tactical switch and handed out a debut to the 27-year-old Polish midfielder Sławomir Peszko. It's a like-for-like swap, a little more experience preferred to the youth of Anthony Ford. So as you were for Leeds United, and this was a scoreline that they would certainly settle for in 45 minutes' time. Luciano Vecchio's goal. And they stand in good stead to maintain here what has been a very good opening day record when they play. A couple of seasons ago, Nigel Clough brought his Derby County side here and won. That's the only time since the early 80s that they have been beaten on home turf on the opening day of a new campaign.
Well, Wolves need a goal, no surprise that Solbakken has gone for a positive change with Peszko down the right-hand side. That should give Wolves a bit more balance in the first half. Everything was down the left towards Matt Jarvis. With Peszko on the field down the right-hand side, it just gives them maybe the centre forwards a bit more to work with. They can get the ball wide, get decent crosses in from both flanks. They should work that Leeds defence a little bit more than we saw in the first half.
McCormack by Stearman. Austin. And Henry was the one who felt the force of that. Leeds started the first half with an excellent zip about their play. Early indicators are that they look to do the same early in this second. They have a corner.
The one thing Wolves can't afford to do is lose an early goal in this second half. That could completely kill the game off, but Neil Warner looking happy and relaxed.
Boys from the back are up for the corner. More by luck than anything else, it's away by Wolves. McCormack, Diouf.
There's a fantastic ball in from McCormack. There's so many bodies in the 6-yard box, could easily just bounce off anybody and go in. It's all about the quality that McCormack puts into that 6-yard box, and so far in the game it's been superb.
If you did miss it, it was he who put in a wonderful ball for Luciano Vecchio to stoop low and head Leeds into the lead.
Ross, get Dufy out with you for sure.
Paddy Kenny on his full Leeds debut in the league. Hasn't really had to answer too many Wolves questions yet. Last league game played, of course. He was the goalkeeper when Sergio Aguero got that goal to win the Premier League for Manchester City. Here's McCormack, that's inviting. Norris couldn't get the power on the header, and Wolves escape.
Well, Norris is under pressure from Henry, who's trapped him all the way back. Once again, it's McCormack as the provider. Juniper switched out to this left-hand side, actually just nods it on. The ball breaks to McCormack, wonderful little cross, dinked in, and Henry does well, just gets in the way of Norris. That means he can't get a clear header in.
Scene set for another Ross McCormack delivery. Good pause for Carl Henry to tie his shoelaces. call there from Carlo Kami. Didn't get anywhere near it. Zuba. It's the first time these two have kicked off a season against each other, Leeds and Wolves, the first meeting between them in any competition for 5 years. Early on in Mick McCarthy's tenure. McCormack, well, we know he is capable of the spectacular. Many of his 19 goals last season came into that category.
Well, he's confident, he has the ability, and as this drops, his eyes light up, just trying to maybe just whip this over the goalkeeper. Just gets underneath it.
Wasn't even in the initial Scotland squad in the week, Ross McCormack, but a late call-up and a decisive late goal off the bench. It's almost forgotten now in these parts that when he started his Leeds career, he couldn't buy a goal. 19 games he went without scoring. In the first 13 games last season, he really did hit the ground running. The sign's good that he's in shape to do exactly the same, or at least something similar this year. Doyle. There's David Norris just coming across the back of it.
The referee's going to have a word with David Norris. I'm not sure there's much intent here. Is it just a clip of the heels? They're both running for the ball. There doesn't seem to be a leg flicked out there trying to bring Doyle down. Just a clip of the heels, and the referee has done the right thing. Just a word.
Ward. Ebanks Blake. Well, there's so many ifs and buts about the early season for many clubs, but particularly for Wolves. Can they get Sylvan Ebanks Blake on the goal trail again? He scored in the Capital One Cup against Aldershot at Molineux last weekend. But 25 goals, that's what he got in Wolves' promotion season from the Championship 4 seasons ago.
That is a big problem though for Wolves. Looking at Kevin Doyle as well, no goal in 12 games. I mentioned Ebanks Blake, just 1 goal in his last 18 appearances, and you compare that to Vecchio and McCormack, and scoring goals for fun. Very important if Wolves are to be successful. Those front two really do need to click.
The Wolves malaise, the malaise of relegation just manifests itself in so many different ways, doesn't it? Kevin Doyle, who he wasn't playing as an out-and-out striker quite often last season, still just the 4 goals for him. And to get the spring back in the step, the collective step, one of these solid Solback and Jobs. Norris finding a little pocket of space and finding Luke Varney, and his touch deserted him, and with that the chance went.
Well, he's complaining he was fouled, but the Wolves back four again all over the place. A simple straight ball down the field, and he gets in between the centre halves. He's onside, just a heavy touch here on the edge of the box, just gets away from him, and Ikemi does well. But Wolves can't continue to defend like this. If they do, they're going to concede a second.
Let's go. First chance for him to get a run at the ball. Not a bad ball in. There's no one really alive to it.
It's a fantastic ball in, and if that's Vecchio or McCormack down the other end, you're sure that expecting the cross. They'll be in the 6-yard box. Evanks, Blake and Doyle are on their heels. They're not expecting the ball to come in. Peshko's in the side to provide crosses. The centre forwards have got to be ready for them.
Zuba. Peshko. Lady White caught much too tight.
As a fullback, you want to make challenges when a winger comes on at half-time. You want to get in there, get in his face, make challenges, but Lady White just missed timing that. Peshko down this right-hand side for Wolves. He could be a good outlet for them.
We were talking at half-time, weren't we, Andy, about how one-sided the Leeds attack was, everything going through Jarvis, and with that it became a bit predictable. That's certainly changed a little since the introduction of the Polish international.
I'm sure the Wolves manager wanted Peshko on for his ability as an individual, but absolutely right. We saw Paul Green, who's gone off now. He was back there with Sam Byram, and Wolves were playing everything down the left, and in the end they were coping fairly comfortably.
Rather committed himself there, and so doing, fouled Luke Varney.
It's clever play from Luke Varney. He knows the challenge is coming. He just gets his body in the way. When he goes to ground, the referee's always going to give free kicks for that. As a fullback, you've got to be sure you win the ball. Zubar, far away from it.
The first foot from a set piece that Ross McCormack's put wrong, but Leeds still have possession. Sweeping ball from Peltier, just a little too hefty.
It's not the greatest pass from Peltier, but Wolves haven't learned their lesson from the goal they conceded. They're squeezing out in wide areas. The Leeds players have acres of space. A better ball from Peltier, and Juve can collect it and run into the penalty box.
You get the feeling, Andy, this is a crucial spell in the match for Wolves. They're looking brittle. Leeds will have sensed that. If there is a way back from this 1-goal deficit, you really struggle to see a way back from 2 down, given the way things have gone so far. Carl Henry. Oh, a slip from White. Peshko's in. And rather than take it on himself, he tried to feed Doyle. And it all went up in smoke.
Well, the idea was right. Fantastic movement from Peshko to get in behind Aidy White. Wonderfully weighted ball from Carl Henry. You see what he was trying to do, just that final pass, the most important pass, he got it wrong.
Henry fouling McCormack.
Peshko's got the ball into feet, and then he's looked to run in behind fullbacks as well. It's a great ball from Henry. You can see it's the right idea just to roll it into the path of Doyle to get a shot away. Doyle's ahead of the ball in the end. He plays it behind the striker. It's a big opportunity that Wolves have passed up.
Treatment needed for Stephen Ward as well on the far side.
You mentioned the Wolves approach. They're absolutely right. This is an important period of the game. Chances like they've just had, they really do have to take them. But for Leeds as well, I saw at Cardiff last night, you can't just rest on maybe a draw, or if you're leading 1-0, you've got to try and get a second goal and kill the game off. If Leeds believe this game is won after, what, just short of an hour, they could really come unstuck.
Peltier up towards Becchio.
Consider how bad Wolves have been at the back. The person that has impressed me is Carl Akemi, the goalkeeper. He's hardly put a foot wrong. His timing off his line has been excellent. He's made a couple of good saves as well, and he could do absolutely nothing about the goal. So he's been very impressive in what has been a bit of a dodgy defensive display.
Here comes Diouf. Jarvis's challenge.
It'll take much to send El Hadj Diouf to the turf, and Jarvis slides in. I'm not sure how much of the ball he gets. He does get a bit of Diouf. I think he's always going to go to ground and gladly take the free kick.
Well, Stephen Ward's strapped up. He's looking to come back on. By McCormack, Becchio nearly got that. Offside. I think most championship managers this season pleased to see that the rules have been changed back to allow 7 substitutes to be named. It was just 5 last year. Behind the 5 was that in times of financial difficulty for many clubs, that the first team squad could be smaller, and it seemed to be counterproductive in the end.
Well, the managers will be pleased. It gives them more choice, of course, but as a fan, you're paying your money. You want to see as much quality out there on the field as well. So if the managers can have a choice in who they put out there, everyone's going to benefit.
Stevens header, Norris, Barney.
Just seems to take a touch off Richard Stearman, who eventually decides to close down Luke Barney, edge of the penalty area. As a defender, you've got to get close. You're just standing off a little bit too far, and that could easily have taken a deflection and gone in.
A little bit of variety. Ross McCormack has been on all these corners since the start of the match. This is the first one El Hadj Diouf has taken. Allows the goal poacher to take up a position right on the goal line. A header from Austin, straight at Akemi.
Well, there were warning signs in the first half, a couple of headers that he got in. This again's a towering header, and Wolves defensively, he's got another yard or so free space there. That shouldn't be happening.
It's a pretty hefty fall. Carl Henry involved, and Luke Varney came down awkwardly and from a height as well.
He's moving, and that's the most important thing. As the ball bounces up, it's a nasty one. There's nothing that Henry can do. He can't get to the ball. He actually stops making the challenge. It's just that Varney rolls over him, lands flush on his back, and we saw it with Paul Green in the first half. Just knocks the wind out of you, and just takes a while to get your breath back.
Did he have a look? Could he have jumped with him, and would that have prevented it, or was he in his rights just to make a back from
It did happen very quickly. I don't think he really made a back for Luke Varney. He just knew a ball bounced too high, and Carl Henry couldn't do anything about it. So you can see him coming, but again, it's a late reaction from Carl Henry. He doesn't really see him until the last second, and you can't really blame the Wolves midfielder for that one.
Good loyalty showed to Terry Connor by the Wolves board, the Wolves hierarchy. It was a torrid time he had at the end of last season, no other way of describing it. 4 draws in the 13 games he was in charge of. 4 points from a possible 39. And that heartfelt reaction after relegation, he felt the pain, he really did feel the pain that Wolves went through.
I'm sure the conversation between the two there will be, at what point do they possibly put on another more attack-minded player? Has Stephen Hunt and Jorn Sigurdarsson as well, the new signing, so maybe get to 65, 70 minutes, and they still need a goal. One of those two has to really come on.
early. Little touch on by Evans Blake. Peshko. Well, he's battled away and got the better of White, who pulled back at him. He'll go into the book for that, I would expect.
Definitely outside the penalty area. A bit of good fortune for Peshko to get past AD White, but he's silly. You stick an arm out, you pull a player back, and you're going to get booked for it. At least from a Leeds point of view, he's not giving a penalty away.
Yellow for AD White.
It's going to be a good contest between the two. AD White probably feels he's done enough here, just loses his footing. Peshko continues with his good work. There's a definite tug back. It is a free kick and it's a yellow card.
Zubar's involved in some sort of altercation around that. The assistant on this near side had a look at it.
The referee was dealing with the AD White situation. It's just a little dig on Zubar. It's not an awful lot, is it? Zubar's saying, look, somebody's just caught me there, but the referee was dealing with the booking, so there's no way he would have seen that.
To the real business. See how far outside the penalty area it was. Never a thought that it would be a penalty, but AD White foul means Ward stands over this one. Intended for Evans Blake. Leeds blockage was solid. It's gone behind for a corner.
That's the wrong choice for me. You've really got to be whipping this in head high into the 6-yard box. Look how many Leeds bodies are around Evans Blake as that short free kick is taken.
This is a more encouraging spell though for the visitors. Ward's corner, Kenny got plenty on it. Austin, he's a beast.
Well, Austin has been absolutely outstanding, and you can see already the Leeds fans are taking to him. The Leeds players as well, they appreciate how hard he's working. This is really difficult for Ward to get past Austin. He's a big man, he's powerful, and just gets in the way of Ward and lets the ball trundle over the bylines. Good play.
Confirmation of that first yellow card picked up by Leeds United in this championship season. Touching the three-quarter mark of the match, and still Luciano Becchio's goal is the one that means at the moment will be a winning start for Leeds. Peshko. In the second half, he's looked the man most likely to, and knows that AD White can't afford any false step now, given that yellow card. He's no longer looking to find him at any given opportunity. And the referee wants a word with Sam Barham here.
He's just a little late, the fullback. Matt Jarvis sharper to the ball, just helps it on round the corner. The fullback catches the wide player, just flicks it on Jarvis. There's the challenge from Byram, and the referee again just looks like he's having a word with Byram. He's got the captain across as well.
And this is an interesting moment as far as the Wolves supporters are concerned. The most significant piece of business conducted so far this season. So much fanfare and focus on all the departures. Chance to have a look at one of the arrivals, the best part of £2.5 million. Seen this fella brought in from Lillestrøm. 21-year-old full Icelandic international will come on for his debut, replacing Sylvan Ebanks-Blake. Looking to chip it over the top. Roger Johnson was the intended target.
Lee Peltier did really well because Johnson had just sneaked in behind him with a free kick. He was offside as well, Johnson. That's why he's a couple of yards in behind Lee Peltier.
Stooping to clear was Norris. Zubar. Johnson, Jarvis, Ward, looking for Doyle, needs just about get it away, Peshko!
Oh, it fell so invitingly for him, and it's good pressure from Wolves. They just kept the ball in there. Leeds couldn't clear their lines. He just sits up really nicely in the end for Peshko. He's predominantly right-footed. Takes it, catches it nicely with his left foot, just underneath it, under pressure as well. His Leeds players flying at him. And finally, Wolves, an effort on goal. It's been a struggle for them. They've been in the game all the way through. They're only a goal down, so it's not so bad just yet.
Well, Roger Johnson clearly feels that Luke Varney was using the elbow there.
Johnson's very unhappy, concentrating on the ball. Well, it certainly is. Varney's arm does come up and across, and it's dangerous because as a defender, you're not looking at Varney, you're looking at the ball. He doesn't even put an arm up to protect himself, and he's got a point, Roger Johnson.
Yellow card for Varney. After an hour without any yellow cards, Leeds United have now picked up 3 in the last 10 minutes or so. Leeds United, Neil Warnock enjoying a bit of banter with the Wolves fans. He's talking this week about how he turned down the opportunity to take over at Wolves towards the end of last season. More on that in a moment. Ward keeps it alive. Henry, Peshko.
It has to be the way now for Wolves. The two Leeds fullbacks have been booked. They need to get it out to Peshko and Jarvis to run at them.
Zubar, Doumbia. Ward wants it short. He finds Jarvis. Henry, the Wolves skipper. He's doing a decent containment job. That was late. Becchio will be in trouble for that one.
We'll see strikers make these challenges up and down the country, and he's never going to win the ball. Stearman switches onto his left foot, just plays it forward. It's just a late challenge from Becchio, and how malicious it was, we'll have to see. Leeds are working really hard. They're pressing the ball. And it's just late. It's high as well. I'm not saying he makes too much contact with Stearman. It's just dangerous, and the ball is well away by the time Becchio decides to slide in.
Card number 4 for Leeds United. Speaking of number 4, Tom Lees is going to be sent on momentarily. Diouf. Good work from Diouf, and here's McCormack now. Becchio and Varney alongside him. Becchio!
It's a difficult ball to strike coming across your body. You can see he didn't really want to put his foot through it. He side-footed it more, past it more than anything else. There's no real power on the ball. Good work from McCormack again. And that's a comfortable save.
Ward starting to get forward with a little more regularity. Jarvis, he's breezed beyond Barham again this time. Peshko.
Oh, you've got to head this back across goal. You're never going to score from this angle. Jarvis, for the first time in the second half, running at Sam Barham, getting by him easily. I'm sure we might see a change from Neil Warnock in that regard. Great ball in, but you've got to go back across goal. Doyle's there. You see, head in hands from Kevin Doyle. That's not good enough from Peshko.
Well, this is an interesting substitution. Tom Lees, a defender, primarily a centre-half on. Centre-forward, creator. Last season top scorer, Ross McCormack, off. 15 minutes to play. Are we seeing Neil Warnock shut up shop? Well, Lees has gone to centre-half, Peltier to his preferred right-back position. Looks like 5 across the midfield. Maybe Diouf playing just off the striker.
It's the first time that Neil Warnock is maybe happy with what his team have. They played very well. They've created a couple of chances in the second half, but last 10-15 minutes, Wolves have been in the ascendancy. They're forcing Leeds back, and that's why he's made this change and just stiffened things up in midfield.
Doyle. Sigurdarsson. That's a deft chip in towards Peshko, but he's offside.
Peshko had a chance just to look across the line. It's a clever ball from Sigurdarsson. But Peshko stayed onside. He is offside as the ball is played. Great decision. The referee's assistant should really, though, have just come back a yard and collected that ball.
Now it's settled down for Leeds. It does actually look like they are leaving 2 up with Becchio and El Hadj Diouf. Here's Lees. Varney. Sigurdarsson. Doyle. Off balance as he went to claim it.
Just looking again at that Leeds change, I think it's important. Neil Warnock felt that Sam Barham had done well, 18 years old, up against Matt Jarvis. The longer the game goes on, is he going to be able to cope with the England man? So he's put Lee Peltier across there, more experienced right back, and he's hoping they can just really nullify the effect that Jarvis can have on the game.
Peshko. This is a great run from the Polish international. Jarvis. 3 in the middle here for Wolves. Pierce left highest. Doumbia. Jarvis. Matt Jarvis. Olivier is to sign off, looking to sign off in style, but firing wide.
Disappointed, he just really doesn't wrap his foot around this. This is the danger for a fullback, can go down the line, you can nip inside, and Peltier is wary about making a challenge. He's in the penalty area. Of course, you need to wrap your foot around that ball and bend it in towards that top corner.
Treatment required for Sam Barham, which gives us the chance to mark your card for Monday night, the return of Monday Night Football. The debut for Robin van Persie for Manchester United at Goodison Park. 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 HD, and also available in Sky 3D. Well, comparisons for Neil Warnock, what he did a couple of seasons back with Queen's Park Rangers, taking them up. The inevitable, the same expectations as he has a first full season in charge of Leeds, but I think one of the things he'll be looking to repeat is the blistering start that they got off to. They were up and away, they didn't lose a game until December. But particularly this first pocket before the international break at the start of September, they'll be looking to really set a tone for the way things will go.
It's such a competitive championship league this season. So many sides, probably half the league will fancy their chances of finishing in the top six. So it's so important you hit the ground running. You're holding the first game against a relegated side. He's looking for 3 points and then they build from there.
A couple of tricky looking away games as well. Blackpool away for them midweek. That's on Tuesday, and then Peterborough away. Next at home here at the start of September in the league against Blackburn. So it's certainly not an easy start. Perhaps not a bad thing to get a couple of the relegated sides who may be still feeling a little sorry for themselves out of the way early doors.
Neil Warnock wants to put a side out that he can trust, and that's why he brought in these very experienced players over the course of the summer. He won't worry too much about who Leeds are playing. He'll just want his side to do their job, and he'll be pleased with what he's seen in the opening, 80 minutes of the season.
And it's a lot easier to build togetherness, team spirit, and all those qualities that stand you in good stead if you're winning. Wolves, for their part, a couple of games at home against Barnsley and Derby to try and get things up and running, assuming that they don't manage to turn this around in the next 10 minutes or so. We'll give it a go. Heavy from Zubar, and Austin, who's had a super debut, really, in the engine room for Leeds. Diouf.
Austin, once again, absolutely outstanding. He's swept in front of the back four, and he's got him behind full-backs, as we saw there. Zubar breaks. Austin's with him. Looks like Gumbia could be in a bit of trouble here. And that's Diouf, good strength. There's ahead of Gumbia, and he goes to ground very easily. He's going to be booked to the Wolves midfielder.
Puts it in, Hakimi, decisive, effective.
He's been outstanding when he's come off his line. His decision-making has been superb, and he'll be disappointed if his side don't go on and pick up something from this game. He's really done his chances of staying between the sticks for Wolves a power of good.
Final change for Ståle Solbakken and Wolves. You see the Welsh international David Edwards sent on for Richard Stearman. Away with his country in the week. David Edwards didn't actually play in the defeat in Llanelli. Well, with just over 7 minutes to play, Leeds exactly where they want to be. No one spotted Norris. Byram was there. Here's Varney.
The Wolves certainly have to improve on switching on from set pieces, because David Norris was in acres of space there. He gestured to Diouf where he wanted the ball, and still no Wolves defender got out there and dealt with him.
And they conceded against Victor Aldershot in the Capital One Cup at home last week from a set piece. Delivers again. It's more comfortable for Karl Hakimi, who's starting his first league game in over 3 years for Wolves.
I just wonder with Edwards coming on for Wolves whether they change their formation, go 3 at the back. But it looks like Carl Henry's just going to drop back into the back 4, and Edwards will try and get forward from midfield.
like this. Peltier away. Here's Byram. And up and under for Becchio to chase. Edwards. And goes Austin again.
It's all a little bit too narrow for Wolves. We're seeing Pesco and Jarvis tucking in when really at this stage of the game they need to be stretching the match. Wolves are dominating possession. They need to get their wide men on the ball, running at fullbacks.
His opening couple of games of the season in the League Cup last weekend when they took penalties to get beyond Aldershot Wolves, and here Stanley Solbakken, and if he didn't know it already, will be aware that it's going to be a turnaround job which will take weeks and months rather than days. So much about personnel and ability as much as mindset. Wolves as a relegated side, a painful relegation behind them, won't be unique in that respect.
He's talked about very important 14 days before the transfer window closes. He might lose a couple of key players, but I'm sure he's keen on bringing 2 or 3 in.
Ward. Jarvis. To the Republic International. Sigurdsson's done well. Fizzed across the face of goal by Matt Jarvis.
Well, it's not an easy chance. Sigurdsson really barges his way in towards the near post, and Austin does well not to give a penalty away right on the byline. Tom Lees manages just to keep his arms down. It breaks for Jarvis. He's capable of scoring from there, sits up nicely for him. Just slices the ball outside of the right foot, always going to drift away from the far post.
Youth. Lee's finding Becchio. Byram!
That would have been the icing on the cake. Was a very impressive debut, Sam Byram. He's been pushed into midfield. This falls really kindly to him, and he's a confident young man. Catches it decently enough, but it's well wide of that right-hand post.
Pierce. Well, they're not there yet, Leeds, but given when you look at how many new faces, more comings and goings over the summer than at any time since their relegation from the Premier League in 2004. And it looks like Neil Warnock has been able to mould it all into a winning start. A couple of minutes away, plus added time. Starting off the season with a vital home win against a side who, let's face it, given their resources and the talents that they'll have, even after whatever departures may happen, Wolves will not be far from the mix, you wouldn't think.
It took a long time for the referee to get his yellow card out, but now there's a fair number, and it's a poor challenge from Pesco because AD White's going nowhere. It slides in, gives a soft free kick away.
It's the 6th, by the way. Here's Diouf. And surprisingly, you might think isn't one of those 6. Well, if Wolves are going to do something, they've got to make it happen pretty soon. Just saw a signal between the referee, Tony Bates, and his fourth official down there. We may have as many as 5 added minutes. Peshko. Here's Jarvis, who's come across to try his luck against Aidy White. Varney doubling up. Wolves have the corner in the last minute of the 90. Jarvis, glanced by Austin at the near post. Peshko. Jarvis. And again, it's Austin providing the barrier.
And this is where the Leeds players that have been brought in the summer need to stand firm. Lots of experience. They need to see this job through, but with 5 minutes left to play, plenty of time for Wolves to get back in it.
30 seconds or so ago looked relatively comfortable for Leeds, now looks a little bit nervy. I wonder they're holding on to the ball. Left-footed Ward. Looked deep. The referee's whistle had gone, there was a push in there, Leeds the man who'd gone down.
Sigurdarsson who maybe just fouls Leeds. There's a Zubar at the far post, he gets some space, he's not picked up at all. Doesn't seem an awful lot in that, to be honest. The referee, he's pushing and shoving his hands on everybody there. I'm not sure how Tony Bates can pick out a free kick Leeds his way.
Austin tackling once and twice. You know you're doing something right if the home supporters are cheering your name. After just one game, one league game, that is of the new season. That's what Rodolphe Austin has got. Great lead by Varney. Here he is again, one of several players brought in from Portsmouth by Leeds this summer. Diouf. He may look for the faintest of touches in order to win the free kick, but it's exactly what Warnock will want from him at this stage. White. Diouf. Corner.
The games between these two tend to be very tight, just 7 goals in the last 6 league meetings, and the one bit of quality from Becchio looks like it could have decided this game.
Becchio's the one that's penalised there. A pile of bodies developing with Peshko, the one who was fouled. Zubar. Peshko. Out by Pearce. Now Varney. The luxury of a little bit of time, but he couldn't find Diouf. don't want to hide his feelings out there, El Hadj, is he? Ward. In the last minute of the signalled 5, in by Jarvis. Still a glimmer of hope here for Wolves. Peshko hoisted high by Sigurdarsson.
He's not the sharpest just yet, Sigurdarsson. This is a good opportunity for him. Needs to get his knee over the ball and keep it out, hit the target, at least work Paddy Kenny. It's the sign of his rustiness. The ball breaks to him and just snatches at it. It's way over the bar, and could that be the last chance for Wolves?
Well, for reasons that we've touched on throughout the game today, it was always going to be tough for Wolves. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to overcome it. Well, Ståle Solbakken has seen enough positives out there, though, enough for him to build on, build round.
He certainly had the application he wanted from his team, just a lack of quality.
Becchio, who did find some quality, may find another bit here. El Hadj. There is nothing like a winning start to a new season, and that is exactly what Neil Warnock and Leeds United have here, courtesy of Luciano Becchio's first half goal. Relegated Wolves just can't shake off that losing feeling. Without a win in 15 league games now, if you take into account the wretched end to their Premier League adventure last season. But Luciano Becchio, who was served so ably by Ross McCormack, his strike partner, stooped and Leeds conquer, and there have been plenty of positives about this humid afternoon in Yorkshire. Rodolphe Austin had a terrific debut. A clean sheet for Paddy Kenny on his return to the promised land, the Yorkshireman from Halifax back home in his county. And plenty for Ståle Solbakken to ponder, but also plenty for him to build on. Let's get some reaction. Jonathan Oakes is...
Jason, on your league debut here, how pleasing are those 3 points?
Yeah, no, obviously delighted. All the boys worked so hard today. You know, during pre-season we've been working, staying as a group, sticking in there, and we know we're going to get chances with the likes of Becchio and Ross and that up front. So no, absolutely delighted.
You experienced the pain of relegation with Portsmouth last season, a turbulent season. Do you get the impression with this group of players that it could be a promotion campaign this time around?
I hope so, definitely. You know, we've got to keep our feet on the ground. It's a great start, but we'll take each game as it comes. And now I can't wait to keep it going.
You're joined by Luciano Becchio, the winning goal scorer as well. Luciano, just talk us through your goal.
Yeah, we're very happy because we did a very good pre-season, and that's it. We played very good.
An assist from Paddy Kenny as well, his long ball to Ross McCormack to help set it up.
Yeah, we play brilliant. Everybody.
Jason, it's today's Empower Man of the Match. Luciano, if you could do the honours for us, please.